The freedom to be free is our theme for the month of July. And, July is a month that we generally think about freedom. For some reason, it comes up more, well, I know the reason, but it comes up more during the month of July than it does any other time of the year we think of freedom. But what we have to know is that we are always free in spirit. We're always free in our oneness. Our oneness with God is that which keeps us free always, every month of the year. But as I said, July is a month because that's the month we think of independence, the Declaration of Independence, Independence Day. July 4th is the day we celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the day that our founders decided to declare independence from the tyranny of King George and to become a sovereign nation here. And so as we go through this time, this month of independence and thinking about the Declaration of Independence, just think about your own life. Think about your own individual life. We all are governed by something. We all are governed by things that are not for our highest and best always. And so I think we have to broaden our thought of independence away from the country and think about our own individual lives. What are the tyrants in our own lives? We each have tyrants in our own lives, things that hold us back, things that govern us, things that keep us walled in, things that keep us blocked from the allness and the fullness of the only thing that is, from our oneness with the all that is. So I'm going to invite you to just take a breath right now with me and just think about it. What rules have you set up for yourself that hold you back? What limits have you set on yourself that hold you back? How have you allowed fear to hold you back from fully living your life, from fully doing those things, from fully expressing all of who you are? How have you allowed someone else or something else to hold you back? What is it that you're tied to that could hold you back? And I ask these questions because I want to invite you to write to today's topic to declare your independence. Declare your independence. From all those things that I just asked questions about, declare your independence from anything that is limiting. Declare your independence from anything that is holding us back. Declare your independence from anything that is keeping you from expressing the fullness and the allness of that one presence, that one power, that one life, that one mind, that one breath that is our very life. And so I just invite you to think about what's holding you back today. What is the tyrant in your life today? Could it be excuses? Some people are really great at making excuses. Could it be complaints? Some are really wonderful at complaining all the time. You hear one complaint after another complaint after another complaint. Maybe it's gossip. Some people are pretty good at that also. Or it could be the run-of-the-mill things like judgment and anger and blame and shame and resentment and regrets. Or it could be a toxic relationship. Or it could be a job that you've outgrown. Or it could be any number of things, old habits, old patterns, old beliefs, old ways of being in the world. What is it that's not allowing you to live your life freely and completely? Ernest Holmes says that we must be willing to declare our independence, declare our freedom from anything that would hold us back. We must be willing to declare our freedom from anything that holds us back. Ernest Holmes talks a lot in the Science of Mind textbook about declaring. He does a lot of declarations. And declaring your freedom is one thing that he really talks about. Declaring our freedom from things that would block us, from things that would limit us. Declaring our freedom. And so if you're walking around thinking about that whole list of things that I just enumerated that may be holding you back, the whole list of tyrants that may be in your life or you may be experiencing or may have been experiencing in your life, just take a deep breath and just let it go and be aware of the fact that you are becoming aware. You're becoming aware that these things exist, that these are the things that you've been allowing to hold you back. And so I'm going to invite you to just really think about it for a bit. Think about it going through this week, going through this time. Think about those things and begin to identify those things in your life. Identify those tyrants in your life. Identify those things that are holding you back. And rather than getting down in the dumps about it or beating yourself up about it, just take a deep breath, be real aware that now I'm aware and now I can do something about it. And Ernest Holmes says that declare daily that there are no mistakes. that no mistakes have been made. None have been made, none are being made, and none can be made. No mistakes have been made, none are being made, and none can be made. So I'm going to say that again. Declare daily that no mistakes have been made, none are being made, and none can be made. And so when we declare that daily, we are recognizing that we are in that all that is, that in which there are no mistakes. And as we start to regret, as we start to want to beat up on ourselves, or start to blame ourselves, or start to do all kinds of things, just take a deep breath and declare, there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes, because we recognize that we are growing from whatever it is that happened, whatever it is we did, whatever it is we didn't do. We have the opportunity to grow from those. And we have the opportunity to make everything right as soon as we return to that place of oneness, as soon as we return to that place of knowing who we are. And Ernest Holmes also says that declare daily the truth of who you are. Declare daily the truth of who you are. And I say declare it over and over and over again throughout the day. That I am made in the image and likeness and out of pure spirit. I am made of God's stuff itself. So no mistakes are being made. No mistakes have been made. No mistakes are being made. No mistakes can be made. I am walking according to the guidance and the direction that I am receiving, and I'm listening, and I'm willing. I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to let go of all those things that don't serve. And so I'm inviting you today to make a list, to make a written list of all those things that you've been allowing to hold you back, that you've been allowing to become tyrants in your life, that you've been allowing to govern your life, that you've been allowing to make you live small, make you live in a box, make you hide, make you feel ashamed, make you blame, make you judge, make you regret, make you do all those things. Make a list of those things so you can see them. And once you make that list, you know what they are. You don't have to dwell on it. Just decide that these are the things I'm ready to get rid of. Make that decision. These are the things I'm ready to declare my independence from. And declaring is a bold statement. When you make a declaration, that's a bold statement, one with authority, one with enthusiasm, one with authority, one with real meaning. That's what a declaration is. So declare with a meaning that I'm letting this go. I'm not going to let this rule my life any longer. This fear, this judgment, this gossip, this whatever, this smallness, the small way of living my life. I'm not going to let this unforgiveness. I'm not going to let this rule my life any longer. And then take a deep breath and write it down. Take a deep breath, write it down, take a look at it, and then just state it out loud, read it out loud. Because what you're doing when you're making a declaration is you're saying to the universe, I'm ready to change. I'm setting my intention, and I'm making a commitment. I'm setting my intention. I'm making a commitment. I'm making a commitment to walk in freedom. I'm making a commitment to walk in oneness, because I know that all this stuff that I've listed on this paper is holding me back. It's keeping me out of that place of oneness. And so I'm making a commitment. I am declaring my independence from the tyrants in my life. I'm declaring my independence right here and right now. And then declare it. Look at the ways that they've held you back. Look at where you want to be, how you want to move forward, where you want to go, how you want your life to look. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and start to make some decisions, because you know change is really a choice. You making a change, you releasing, you letting go. You deciding that you are going to live your life differently. You're going to let those things go. That's a choice. That's a choice that you have. So now that you have identified them, declare your independence from them. Declare your independence from them. Declare that you are ready to live your life differently. You're ready to walk a different path. You're ready to live in oneness. You're ready to do something different. You're ready to experience joy. You're ready to experience peace. You're ready to experience limitless love. You're ready to experience all of the gifts of the Spirit. All of the gifts of the Spirit. But we can't do that until we start to recognize what those things are, and then be willing to just open up and let them go. Be willing to open up and let them go. And you know, it's not as easy as I make it sound sometimes. I recognize that. It sounds good. I'm declaring my independence from, when I was thinking about this talk, I was declaring my independence from one after another thing on the list. And then when I woke up this morning and started to think about it, it's like, well, really? I want to let that go? It's not that bad. And anytime you say it's not that bad, it is. It is. Anytime you say it's not that bad, that's what we do sometimes when we are about to end a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship, a love relationship. It could be a marriage. It could be a job. It could be any change that we are about to make. Just before we make that change, it could even be moving. Just before we make that change, we'll say, well, you know what, this is not that bad. Maybe I'll stay here a little while longer. It's not that bad. And then we start to find the things to justify our decision that it's not that bad, because once we decide that it's not that bad, then we stay where we are. And we don't have to make that change. We don't have to do something different. And so I'm inviting you to, when you hear yourself saying it's not that bad, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Take a breath, let it go. It is that bad. Otherwise, you would not have said that. And that's what I have to say to myself sometimes. Yes, it is. It is that bad. Otherwise, it would not have come to your mind. So just keep in mind that once you make that list, then you've got to declare your freedom from it. The first thing is to make the list. First thing is to identify the tyrants. The first thing is to make the commitment that you're ready to let it go. And you know what? If you're not ready to let it go, I'm going to encourage you to call a practitioner or to email a practitioner and start to work with practitioners who can help you get to the place where you are ready to let it go, where you are ready to live the allness and the fullness of God, where you are ready to live your life fully and completely. And we have this time now where we've had 3 months, 4 months to contemplate, to really think about things, to really be in a closed-in place, and to really be reflective. I hope that you've taken some of this time to reflect on your life, to reflect on where you've been, to reflect on where you are right now, and to reflect on where you're going and where you want to go. And if you've had time to do that, and if you haven't, don't beat yourself up. You can start right now. If you haven't done any reflection, if you haven't done any introspection, if you haven't done any meditation, if you haven't done any spiritual practice, that's just fine. No mistakes have been made, none are being made, none can be made. You can start right here and right now. You can start right here and right now. Take a breath. Release that judgment. You can start right here and right now to reflect on your life, to decide how you want your life to be, where you want your life to be, how you want your life to go. How you want your life to go, because there's that is always guiding us. There's always that's directing us. There's always that's showing us the way. Ernest Holmes says that declare daily that there's a supreme intelligence. There's a supreme intelligence that governs, guides, and guards, and it tells us what to do, when to do. It tells us what to do, when to act, and how to act. That's a supreme intelligence that governs, guides, and guards. And it tells us what to do, when to act, and how to act. And he says, declare this daily. Declare this daily, that there's a supreme intelligence that's governing me, guiding me, guarding me, and telling me what to do, when to act, and how to act. And so once I make up my mind that I am declaring my independence from something, there's that within me that already knows what to do. There's that within me that already knows how I'm supposed to act. There's that within me that already knows when I'm supposed to act. So I don't have to have it all figured out. Before we release things, we don't have to have it all figured out. But okay, once I release it, then what am I going to do? Where am I going to be? How am I going to be? You don't have to figure any of that out. You don't have to know any of that, because there's that supreme intelligence within each of us that already knows. That already knows how it wants to show up as you, that already knows how it wants this life to be lived through you as you, that already knows all these things. So all we have to do is return unto that presence within us. Return unto that presence within us, declare our oneness with it by being willing to let go to let go of stuff that we may be holding on to let go of those things that hold us back, declare our independence from it. Independence being free of the influence, of the governance, of the control of something or somebody else. Independence. Self-governing. That's what we want to be, self-governing with the small s and the big S. Self-governing is what we want to be. By our small self, we make the decisions of what we want, and then we're governed by that larger self, that greater self that is within each one of us. And so it's important for us to declare our independence and declare it daily. Declare your freedom daily. Declare your freedom daily. Declare it daily. And then be committed to it. Be committed to the freedom that you are declaring. Because once we set our intention, that's a declaration of independence. Once we declare our independence, that's setting an intention. So those two work together. We're setting our intention to be free. We're setting our intention to live a different life. We're setting our intention to live in oneness. And when we're setting our intention to live in oneness, we're setting our intention to live in freedom, because oneness is freedom. Oneness is freedom, being in oneness with the all that is, being in oneness with the Creator and the all that is the freedom that we desire. That is the ultimate freedom. That is the ultimate freedom, because there's that is always guiding us, that is always directing us, that is always governing, that is always showing us the way, telling us what to do and how to do it. All we got to do is just listen. Listen, and it takes so much of the burden away that we hold on to for ourselves when we think we have to do it all ourselves. It takes so much of the angst away. It takes so much of the fear away. When we get into it, well, I don't know how to do this. Well, what would I do if I let that go? Well, what if I let this job go? If I let this relationship go? If I did, how would I manage? Well, you don't have to know any of that. You don't have to know any of that. All you need to do is declare your independence. Send that message to the universe. Let Spirit know that you are committed to doing something different. You are committed to living in oneness. You are committed to living in freedom. You're committed to being free. You are declaring your freedom. And I invite you to declare your freedom so that you can live fully and completely, always, always. And then once you declare your freedom, once you have really declared your freedom, then walk in the direction of that freedom. Walk in the direction with that freedom. Walk in the direction of that freedom. Walk in the direction of the things that you say you want. Because once you declare your freedom from what you're experiencing, then you're saying that you want something else. And when you say that you want something else and you are declaring your freedom from what's back here, then you've got to walk in the direction of what you want. You got to walk in the direction of what you want. You got to walk in the direction of the freedom that you say you want. And so that's where our spiritual practice comes in. Everything boils down to spiritual practice. Everything boils down to returning over and over to that knower within us, returning over and over to that supreme intelligence that already knows what the walk is like, that already knows the path and has already laid out the path before us, has already laid out that path, and all we have to do is follow along in those footsteps that have been created by the Father who has gone before us. That's all we have to do. The footsteps are there, and we just follow along that path that has already been created. And so we can let go of the angst about what am I going to do once I get free of this, and then I'm stepping into the unknown. Well, it may be unknown to you, but it's not unknown to Spirit. And so I'm inviting you to embrace and to commit to this independence that you have claimed. Commit to this independence that you have declared. Commit to it. Let go of the thought of anything else. Let go of the thought of the things that you let go of. Let go and hang out in that let go. Hang out in the let go and just really move forward in letting go and walking forward into a new life, into a new way of being. Into a new way of being. Don't pick it up again. Just like the reading said. Once you make a list of things, then throw that list away. You just want to see what it was, what was there. And then throw that list away because you won't need it any longer. So you can throw it away. And then you just are guided and you're guarded and you're directed every step of the way. Every step of the way. So focus on what you want. Focus on what you want. Once you start making that list of what you are declaring your independence from, then you get clearer about what you want. Because when you're looking at the list is telling you what you don't want. And so sometimes the way to get clear about what you want is to look at the things that you don't want. And when you're looking at the things that you don't want, then you say, oh, I don't want this, but I want this. Oh, I don't like this, but I like that. Or this is, I don't choose this any longer. I choose something different. And so focus on what you want. Focus on what you want. Ernest Holmes says, look only at those things that you want. Look only at those things that you want. When you persist in looking at things that you don't want, you persist in holding them in place. When you persist in looking at things that you don't want, you persist in holding them in place. And so what we want to do is release those things that we don't want so that we can be free to move forward with the things that we do want. Move forward with the things that we do want. So we focus on that, and we look only at the things that we do want. We look only at the things that we do want. And trust me, the things that we don't want will light up. They will get our attention. They will try to get us back. They don't want us to change. It's ego stuff. The ego doesn't like change. It doesn't like us to do anything different. It likes the status quo. And so there will be that'll be constantly trying to get us to come on back over here. That's too hard to do that. It's too hot to do this. It's too cold to do that. You're too old to do that. You're too young to do this. Whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. There'll be that little voice, those little voices, those little things that'll be tugging at us, that'll be tugging at us, that'll be tugging at us. And what we have to do is to stay firm in what we know. Stay firm in our commitment. Stay firm in our commitment to freedom. Stay firm in our commitment to live life full out. Stay firm in our commitment to do what is necessary for us to have the best possible life. Stay firm in our commitment to do those things that are for our highest and best. We have to stay firm in that commitment to do that. And we have to be mindful all the time. We can't get distracted. And there's a lot of distractions out there. We cannot get distracted. We have to stay firm. Stay firm in what we desire. Stay focused on what we desire. Stay focused on what we desire. Declare our freedom over and over and over again. And when we make these declarations, Ernest Holmes says, when you declare things daily, look at them, feel them, know them, and be them. Look at it, feel it, know it, and be it. I'm going to say that again. Look at it, feel it, know it, and be it. That's what happens when we declare something, and we're declaring daily. He recommends that you declare things daily. Declaring, as I said, the truth of who you are. Declaring your connection with the all that is. Declare your connection with the all that is. Declare daily that I know who I am. I know that I'm made in the image and likeness and out of pure spirit. There's nothing that can change that. I know that I am one with God. There's nothing that can change that. I can change my perception of that. I can change my sense of that. But the truth of it is that I'm made in the image and likeness of God, and I am one with God. Nothing changes that. I can live like I'm not one with God, but that's what I'm declaring my freedom from. I'm declaring my independence from living like I'm not one with God. I'm declaring my independence from living like I don't know who I am. I'm declaring my independence from all those things that give me a false sense of self, that doesn't recognize and honor who I am. I'm declaring my independence from all that stuff, and I'm declaring my commitment to live in oneness. I'm declaring my commitment to let my life be an example of what oneness looks like. I'm declaring my commitment to letting my life unfold so perfectly that joy abounds all around me, everywhere. And it touches the lives of everyone with whom I come in contact. I'm declaring my commitment today to that. Because when we declare our independence from something, we're declaring our commitment to something. We're declaring our commitment to something. That's something I'm calling freedom. But you know what freedom looks like for you. I know what freedom looks like for me, but I know it all happens in God. It all happens in our oneness. It all happens in our willingness to be open and available. It all happens in our willingness to live the vision that God has for each of our lives. It all happens in our willingness to be the vision that God has for our lives. To live out loud, to live large. And this is a time to do that. This is a time that we're spending much more time alone. This is a time that we're spending much more time inward. We're on this inward journey right now. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is the best time that we can have. The best time that we can have to make the changes that we need to make to have the lives that we want to have. And so I invite you to declare your independence today from those tyrants that have been running your life, that have been governing your life. Declare your independence today. Declare your independence today. And then look at what your life can look like. What it looks like when you declare the truth of who you are. And you walk in that, you stand in that. Because it gives you authority. When you declare the truth of who you are, you walk with authority. The authority of the creator, of that being, of that knower, of that intelligence, of that essence that is really you. You walk with that authority. You square your shoulders. You stand up straighter. And you feel much more confident because you know you're not alone. You know you're guided. You know you're guarded. You know you're governed by this supreme being, the supreme intelligence that knows all and is all. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Ernest Holmes says, declare your freedom. I invite you to declare your freedom today. Declare your freedom. Declare your freedom, and then know that everything that is necessary for the full expression of joy, abounds in your life. That's another thing that Ernest Holmes says. Know that everything, and you can declare that too, that everything that is necessary for the full expression of joy, it abounds in your life right now. Everything that is necessary for the full expression of freedom abounds in your life right now. And so you can claim that with your declaration of independence. I invite you to really, really, really write your own declaration of independence and then live it out. Live it out. Dare to live it. Dare to live independently. Dare to live in freedom. Dare to live in oneness. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, to live in freedom. Do it. Just do it. Let's take a breath and turn within in this moment. Just turning within in this moment, just knowing and sensing and feeling the presence of God, knowing and sensing and feeling that freedom that comes. That freedom that comes when we are in the presence of God, when we are consciously in the presence of God, when we are consciously connecting, when we are consciously at one with the all that is, when we are consciously knowing who we are, that God is all there is, that I am made in the image and likeness and out of God, that God is the only life, the only power, the only presence, that God is my very life and the life of all of us, the source of all of us. This is the truth that I know. This is the truth that I know. This is the truth that I know, that God is always right where I am. God is always guiding me, directing me, governing me. God is always, always, always right where I am. There is no spot where God is not, closer to me than my breathing, nearer than hands and feet. God is. And so it is from this place of awareness that I speak the word for each of us this day. I speak a word of freedom. Freedom, freeing us from those things that no longer serve us. Freeing us from those things that would hold us back. Freeing us from those things that have kept us in bondage for so long. We're willing to open our hearts and open our minds and let them go and allow the light of pure spirit, allow that radiant healing presence of pure spirit to to work in our lives, as our lives, to heal all those wounded places, to heal all those frayed edges. I know that God is right where we are, and I know that healing is happening everywhere we are. I bless all those, and I speak the word for all those who are experiencing the effects and the impact of COVID-19 now, today. All those who are impacted individually, experiencing themselves, or who are experiencing loved ones, have loved ones who are experiencing or have lost loved ones. I just know that God is in the midst of everything that's going on. I bless the first responders and those essential workers who are there, the doctors and the nurses and the medical teams and the medical professionals, and all those who are making it possible for help to be available, and making it possible for support to be available, and making it possible for being that place and space through which God's healing work is happening. I bless them all. I bless those who have lost jobs and losses of any kind this day, just knowing that right where they are, God is, and there is no loss. That God is the source and the supply. That God is the healer. God is the comforter. God is. God is. God is. And when we can just tap into that isness, then we begin to experience the healing, the wholeness that is God. So this word goes out to anyone on this planet needing a prayer this day, knowing that right where each of them is, the power and the presence of God is blessing and keeping them. As I open this circle of prayer, I pause momentarily so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer. You may speak their names silently or loud, and you may speak them now. So for all those whose names are spoken here this day, I know that God is right where each person is, in the midst of every circumstance, every situation, every event, every broken heart, every pain. God is in the midst of it all. God is in the midst of it all, and healing and comfort and solace is provided by that allness and that fullness that is God. And so I simply say thank you, Father, Mother God, for the word spoken here this day. Thank you for the perfect manifestation of this word that's spoken here this day. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for everything. I know that we are all blessed, and we are blessings as we go forward this day. And I know that all is well, for all is God. With that, I simply allow it to be. And so it is.